will be on the same lines of the Hare Krishna tune also,
Okay.
like how the gopis would miss Krishna. Jaya Radha
We're headed into Radhastami.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
I just wanted to say Radhastami is not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. So we'll be meeting twice before Radhastami. It's good.
Yes, Prabhuji. Radhastami is coming through. So, Hare Krishna Sanchit ji. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Ramnath Prabhu.
Jaya Radha Madhava
Sanchitya, Hare
Jaya
Krishna.
Kunja
Hare Bol, Sanchitya.
Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girvaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girvaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. This was actually one of the Hare Krishna song which our teacher taught us, and as the Gopi style of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it's a bit of melodious as well as kind of like Krishna. It's like Gopi singing in separation of Krishna. It's that kind of Hare Krishna tune. So with your permission, Ramanath Prabhu and everyone, I will dive into the Krishna book. That's okay.
Dive in.
So today, you can hear me all right?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Krishna hiding from the gopis. We have actually covered how when the gopis were feeling very ecstatic about having Krishna by their side, and they were having a sense of pride that Krishna was there with them. Krishna disappears, disappears in the presence of from the presence of the gopis. I think before I just start, sorry, my apologies, I'll just do a quick one. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And as we always say before the Krishna book, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Chakrateham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti. So Arjuna, Krishna says, one who understands Krishna's divine birth, Krishna's divine leelas, divine pastimes, such kind of devotees who understand these divine pastimes, once they leave this material world, will not come back, but they will directly go to Krishna Loka. So on that very wonderful sloka note, we'll just continuing with the next chapter. Just to recap on this, Krishna hiding from the gopis, when the gopis are feeling a sense of pride, Krishna was there with them, and immediately Krishna disappears from them. And then you can find the gopis in lamentation, trying to search for Krishna all over the world, all over the place, and asking all the flowers, all the leaves and trees, and everyone, including the cows and all the animals. So there's so much of lamentation for the gopis and trying to ask everyone, like if they've seen Krishna anywhere. But Krishna was kind of like always reciprocates, and here he's kind of reciprocating, saying that when they have this sense of pride too much, and Krishna is trying to teach even the lesson for the gopis. We covered that, hiding from the gopis, and now chapter 31, there are two things that we're going to do today. One, we're going to cover the songs by the gopis, and after this chapter is over, I will be singing the Gopi Geet, which is a beautiful song, supposed to be a song which is very, very dear to Krishna. So we'll cover the chapter, and then I'll sing the Gopi Geet. So chapter number 31, we're going to start today, songs by the gopis. One gopi said, "My dear Krishna, ever since you took your birth in this land of Rajabhumi, everything appears to be glorious. The land of Vrindavan has become glorious, and it is as if the goddess of fortune is personally always existing here. But it is only we who are very unhappy, because we are searching for you, but cannot see you with our greatest effort. Our life is completely dependent upon you. Therefore, we request that you again come to us. Another gopi said, my dear Krishna, you are the life and soul of even of the lotus flower that grows on the water of the lakes made transparent by the clear rains of autumn. Although the lotus flowers are so beautiful, without your glance, they fade away. Similarly, without you, we are also dying. Actually, we are not your wives, but are your slaves. You never spent any money for us, yet we are simply attracted by your glance. Now, if we die without receiving your glance, you will be responsible for our deaths. Certainly, the killing of a woman is a great sin. And if you do not come to see us and if we die, you will suffer the reactions of sin. So please come see us. Do not think that one can be killed only by certain weapons. We are being killed by your absence. You should consider how you are responsible for killing women. We are always grateful to you because you have protected us many times from the poisonous waters of the Yamuna, from the serpent Kaliya, from Bakasura, from the anger of Indra and his torrent of rains, from the forest fires, and so many other incidents. You are the greatest and the most powerful of all. It is all wonderful for you to protect us from so many, it is wonderful for you to protect us from so many dangers, but we are surprised that you are neglecting us at this moment. So this is a beginning of another beautiful divine pastimes. As we say, like when we are chanting the holy names of Krishna and Radha, we should always remember the divine pastimes of Krishna. So here we can see this Krishna book, Prabhupada is giving us this beautiful narration of the divine leelas that are unfolding by the gopis who are lamenting in lamentation, speaking about how much they're missing Krishna. So when we bring this to our minds, when we are chanting about these beautiful divine pastimes, because here, this is all about the love of the gopis for Krishna in separation. And this is the whole avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's avatar is basically in the mood of Radharani missing Krishna. So here also we can see that the gopis, they have been speaking about how Krishna has been, how they've been unhappy in the absence of Krishna. And they know that because they are part of the Brajabhumi, they have seen how Krishna has protected them from so many demons, from Putana, from Bakasura, from all of them. And here the women are saying that even though you have protected us so many times, they're quite saying that now at this time like this, they are crying in separation, but Krishna seems to be neglecting them. This is the kind of mood in which they are. And here we can see how the gopis are so submissive that they're saying that we don't consider, the gopis are saying that they don't consider themselves as wife, but as your slaves. That they simply are attracted by his glance. So we can see that how sad they're feeling that, you know, that you don't need to kill a person with any weapon, but they can just, even in terms of separation, right? So many times when we are missing our loved ones, we feel that, we feel so much in separation. We feel how much you are missing. It could be our family members, it could be our spouse, it could be anyone who are very dear to us. And especially when we are away from them, that is when you miss them even more and you love them even more by their absence. So here we can find that the gopis, how much they are lamenting in the absence of Krishna. Dear Krishna, dear friend, we know very well that you're not actually the son of Mother Yashoda or the cowherd man, Nanda Maharaj. You are the supreme personality of Godhead and the super soul of all living entities. You have, out of your own causeless mercy, appeared in this world, requested by Lord Brahma for the protection of the world. It is by your kindness only that you have appeared in the dynasty of Yadu. O best of the dynasty of Yadus, if anyone afraid of this material way of life take shelter at your lotus feet, you never deny them protection. Your moments are sweet, and you are independent, touching the goddess of fortune with one hand and in the other hand, bearing a lotus flower. That is your extraordinary feature. Please come before us and bless us with the lotus flower in your hands. So as we can see, like, you know, right from in Krishna book, we can see right from the beginning, whether we talk about, Vasudeva, or whether we talk about the Gopikas and all of them, they seem to be so knowledgeable at that time. And they hear this saying that they know that he's not the son of Nanda Maharaj, and he's actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All of us, we take birth according to our karmas and our past, based on our anarthas from our previous life. But Krishna, out of his own will, appears in this world for two things. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. He comes into this material world for two reasons. One, to protect his devotees, and to annihilate the miscreants. And so the gopis know that that Krishna is not someone who is born like one of us, but he is someone who is born out of his own causeless mercy, and that he has come by the request of Brahma. As we all know, when the Mother Earth was so burdened with so much of the presence of the demonic kings, Mother Earth prays to Brahma, and Brahma goes and prays to Vishnu. So we can see that we have covered that in the beginning of the Krishna book. So the gopis are aware of this, and that the Brahma, that Krishna has come only on the request of Brahma. And also they are aware that, once he comes into this material world, anyone who's kind of praying to Krishna for protection, Krishna is always giving them protection. And we all know about this very famous one when Draupadi was humiliated in the Maya Sabha, and when she looks at her husband to protect Draupadi, looks at her husbands, all the 5 husbands, and the 5 husbands are not ready to protect her. And then she looks at Bhishma Pitama, maybe the elders will protect her, when they were trying to remove her garments. And then when she sees that even Bhishma is not protecting her, finally she lifts her hand up for Krishna, right? And what does she pray to? Draupadi pray to Krishna. Shankha Chakra Gadadhara Pani Dwaraka Nilaya Achyuta Govinda Pundari Kaksha Rakshamam Sharanam Gatim Govinda Pundari Kaksha Rakshamam Sharanam Gatim. Immediately Draupadi lifts her hands up and prays to Krishna. Krishna, please protect me and save me from this particular embarrassing situation, where a hopeless situation. And as we all know, Krishna reciprocated and gave her unlimited sari, so that even Drishyashana could not do anything about it. And finally, he gets tired of trying to remove her sari. So this is Krishna's divine protection. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupashite tesham nitya bhyuktanam yogashemam vahamyaham. Where Krishna says, when somebody is worshipping me with full undivided attention, with so much of love and devotion, when somebody is worshipping me, somebody is meditating on me, like how we are doing this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna says he is not someone, this is the true love. This is the true love, because when we are worshipping Krishna, when we are meditating on Krishna with so much of love and devotion, Krishna says, I also reciprocate. I will reciprocate by preserving what you have and giving you what you lack. Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupashate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogashemam vahamyaham. I will take care of your welfare. So here also we seen from these divine leelas are so important, just like how Draupadi was saved by Krishna. Similarly, even when Arjuna also was lifting his hand, finally when he sees his own grandfather, everyone, he has to fight his own battlefield. And when Arjuna finally, he's so confused about his duty. And when he sees Bhishma and all that, he's so much of lamentation, he's totally confused. Even then, again, the same situation happens. And that's the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, where he just gives up and he cries out to Krishna. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachama tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yashreya shannishitan bruhatam me sisyaste hamsadi mam tvam prapannam. Krishna, I'm so confused about my duty. I have lost my bodily composure because of miserly weakness. And in this condition, I'm asking you to please tell me what is the best thing to do in this battlefield. I'm no more considering you as my friend, but from now on, I'm considering you as my guru. Please tell me what is the right thing for me to do. So these are the beautiful examples we can see, like where Krishna, whenever Arjuna is requested, and then we can see from then on, Krishna gave the whole of Bhagavad Gita explaining just by this prayer from Arjuna. Similarly, the prayer from from Draupadi, immediately he reciprocated. So these leelas are so important for us to understand that Krishna is always reciprocating. But then we are living in an instant world where we want instant reciprocation. But doesn't happen. Krishna reciprocates in his own time, because he knows, because our senses are imperfect. But Krishna knows when is the right time to do what, because he's always our father for all of us. Pitaham asya jagato mata tata pitamaha vedyam pavitram omkara riksamare. It's all our pain. So we can see here that even the gopis also, they are saying, like, anybody who's afraid of this material way of life, when they take shelter, like Arjuna did or Draupadi did, you never deny them protection. And his movements and everything is, and even the goddesses of fortune is in one hand. So that's why they're quite surprised that, and they're asking, like, please come before us and bless us. In the next paragraph, again, the lamentation of the prayers of the gopis. Dear Krishna, you are the killer of all the fears of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. You are the supremely powerful hero, and we know that you can kill the unnecessary pride of your devotees, as well as the pride of women like us, simply by your beautiful smile. We are simply your maid servants and slaves. Please, therefore, accept us by showing us your beautiful lotus-like face. So even though the gopis are missing Krishna so much, even though we're seeing so much of lamentation, you can see the mixed feelings. They're saying that on one side, they're saying that don't kill us by your absence, because you'll be responsible if anything happens to us. You'll be held responsible if anything, we're going to die in the separation of us. And on the other hand, they're again praying, saying that, please come before us and bless us. And and look at the kind of humbleness. Even though they were directly with Krishna, they're saying that we are not your wife, we are your servants, And so we can see so much of a humility and humbleness that even the gopis were having. Because what happens is, when we have someone very powerful next to us, we feel a lot of pride. When that person suddenly goes and leaves us, then you feel like totally in a different state altogether. So this is the mood of the gopikas. They were literally missing Krishna. Dear Krishna, actually we have become very lusty, having been touched by your lotus feet. Your lotus feet certainly kills all kinds of sinful activities of the devotees who are taken shelter there. You are so kind that even the ordinary animals take shelter under your lotus feet. Your lotus feet are also the residence of the goddess of fortune. Yet you danced on the heads of the Kaliya serpent with them. Now we are requesting you to kindly place your lotus feet on our breast and pacify our lusty desire to touch you. So here we can see that, so much of prayers that are going on. And one side, they're just talking about how Krishna has been like a superhero, how he went and killed all the different demonic people. And here they're continuing saying that they're also being lusty, and also like how Krishna kills. The presence of Krishna itself purifies and kills all kind of sinful activities of the devotees. It is very difficult to, the reason why we don't get the devotional mode is because we have contaminated our mind and our heart with so many materialistic desires that we don't have space for Krishna. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya prasudata chesasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadona vidiyate. Where Krishna Bhagavan says, people who are totally, are completely attached to materialistic opulences, for such kind of a people, the attraction towards devotional service will not take place. But if we have a taste for a higher life, if we have a taste for chanting the Hare Krishna, Hare Nam, then Krishna also will reciprocate. And just by the presence of Krishna, because Krishna is absolute, Krishna's name, the deity form of Krishna, everything is on the same spiritual platform, as Prabhupada explains. So just by chanting also, Krishna is with us. In that way, all the sinful activities are destroyed with the presence of Krishna. And so here, the gopis are kind of like mentioning about how these lotus feet have been the shelter for the animals, as well as for the devotees, as well as we all know, in the previous chapter, we covered how Krishna was even dancing on the head of the Kaliya serpent. But again, whatever Krishna does is totally transcendental. Like, when we try to punish somebody, it could be in the mode of passion, or it could be in the mode of ignorance and things like that. And there is a reaction to it. But when it comes to Krishna, Krishna punishing, Krishna saving, everything is absolute. So everything is on the transcendental platform. So it is not like, doesn't have karmic reactions and that how we do in our materialistic life. Oh Lord, your attractive eyes, like the lotus, are so nice and pleasing. Your sweet words are so fascinating that they please even the greatest scholars, who also become attracted to you. We are also attracted by your speaking and by the beauty of your face and eyes. Please, therefore, satisfy us by your nectarian kisses. Dear Lord, words spoken by you or words describing your activities are full of nectar. And simply by speaking or hearing your words, one can be saved from the blazing fire of material existence. Great demigods like Brahma, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are always engaged in chanting the glories of your word. They do so to eradicate the sinful activities of all living entities in the material world. If one simply tries to hear your transcendental words, he can very quickly be elevated to the platform of pious activities. For the Vaishnavas, your words give transcendental pleasure, and saintly persons who are engaged in distributing your transcendental message all over the world are first-class charitable persons. This was confirmed by Rupa Goswami when he addressed Lord Chaitanya as the most munificent incarnation, because he was distributing the words of Krishna and the love of Krishna free of charge all over the world. So we can see like how beautiful the gopis are mentioning about. We can, from this description, we can understand from the gopis how beautiful Krishna must be looking in those days. And we can see from the pictures, when even the deities, which we see in the temple, they're so attractive. We can't just take our eyes off the deities of Krishna and Radha and Krishna. And here we can see that from the gopis, we can get an idea like how beautiful Krishna must have been 5,000 years when he was in person. That the way Krishna's eyes, how they're being described as comparing to the lotus, and how beautiful he was in terms of his beauty and the way Krishna was speaking, that they were so could not, because even now we can see in today's material world, like a lot of people get fascinated by the movie stars, like they just go crazy. In India, people are so crazy that sometimes they even build temples in the name of movie stars. They get so attracted, or they're like, oh my God, just imagine. They're just like, we are all material. This whole body is material. And imagine if they feel like that for actors who are just on the material platform. Imagine Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in person, how beautiful he must be looking like, how beautiful Krishna must be. And we can all see that from our deities as well. But here we are hearing, as they say, hearing from the horse's mouth, we are hearing directly from gopis, how beautiful Krishna must be. And also like even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva are also the chanting the names of Krishna. And how it is important that as we just now spoke about it, even by hearing this transcendental platform, transcendental words of Krishna, because even earlier we also be seeing Krishna was telling the gopis, you don't need to be near me. You can go to your house and you can think of me. You can just converse with each of the gopis about me. Even that is enough. You don't need to be in my presence. So here, these beautiful messages of Krishna, we should take that it's not that Krishna 5,000 years back, the gopis have seen, but just by even engaging with the transcendental sound of Krishna, Hare Krishna, we should have that faith that Krishna, we are directly in contact with Krishna. Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna Bhagavan has come in the form of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And with that full faith that, just as the gopis are having the association of Krishna, we should also have the same faith that we are having the association of Krishna by this transcendental sound vibration of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And here you can see from the gopis their realization, because all of us have our realizations. And here we can see that the gopis, our realization is that once who hears these transcendental words of Krishna, they immediately transferred to the pious platform of pious activities. Not only when we talk about Rajas, Tamo Guna, Rajas Guna, and Sattva Guna, here we're talking about Suddha Sattva Guna, the mode of pure goodness. Like, if you take a daytime, evening is in the mode of, Tamo Guna, afternoon maybe in the mode of passion, morning is in the mode of goodness or Sattva Guna. But again, Brahma Murta is considered as a mode of pure goodness. So like that. So here they're saying like, people who are engaged in distributing the transcendental message of Krishna, they're all first-class charitable persons. So charity, as we know from Bhagavad Gita, can be in the three modes, even the charity that we do. If you're giving charity to a drug addict or somebody who's in the wrong way of life, that's charity in the mode of ignorance. Or if you give it to some rock band or things like that, that could be in the mode of passion. But anything that you're distributing the love of Krishna to the world, that is like doing charity in the mode of pure goodness or Suddha Sattva Guna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's been confirmed by Rupa Goswami, given this, was being such a munificent incarnation because he was giving these words of Krishna. And even Nityananda used to go from house to house asking everybody to chant these holy names of Krishna. And even though we all know, many of you would know in Ramanujacharya's divine pastimes, when his guru told this Narayana Mahan mantra, Om Namo Narayana, this is only for you, don't reveal it to anyone, because that's how the Brahmanas and Gurus sometimes used to be in those days. And he tells Ramanujacharya's guru tells him, don't reveal this mantra to anyone. And what will happen? He said, like, if you reveal this, then you will go to hell. And then Ramanujacharya says, okay, fine, Guruji. And he goes on the top of the temple and he just calls everyone and says, I want to give you this most secret, that is, you should chant this Om Namo Narayana. So Guru gets angry. He says, like, it's fine if I go to hell, but let me distribute this beautiful mantra to everyone so that everybody is benefited. So actually pure devotees of the Lord are like that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being Krishna Bhagavan himself, was doing this, giving this love of Krishna to everyone. That in Kali Yuga, that you don't need to go to study the Vedas, you don't need to do austerities, you don't need to do any kind of sacrifices. You can just by chant the holy names of Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's none other Krishna Bhagavan himself, is given. There is a beautiful sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya palam pratistam atyeti tat sarvam vidam viditva yogi param sthanam upechi chadyam. Where Krishna Bhagavan is telling in Bhagavad Gita, whatever benefits that ancient times people would get by studying the Vedas, by doing austerities, by doing sacrifices, by doing penances, by doing all kind of austerities, in Kali Yuga, you can get the same benefit just by engaging yourself in devotional service, that is by Shravanam and Kirtanam, hearing and chanting the holy names of Krishna. So Krishna has already given us this message in Bhagavad Gita, that this is how, that in Kali Yuga, where the lives are so short and the memory is so weak and the knowledge is so low, the best way, and Krishna knows as the Kali Yuga is going to go and the people are going to be even more degraded. So he's given that you don't need to do all these austerities. In Satya Yoga, people would meditate for thousands of years. In Treta Yoga also, they used to do sacrifices. Dwapara Yoga, you do deity worship, but in Kali Yuga, you don't need to do anything. You get the same benefits as well by chanting the holy name. So how fortunate we are. This is the only thing which is fortunate about Kali Yuga, that we can get the same benefit what other people used to get in ancient times by just chanting the holy names of Krishna. Dear Krishna, the gopis continued, you're very cunning. You can imagine how much we are distressed simply by remembering your cunning smile, your pleasing glance, you walking with us in the forest of Vrindavan, and your auspicious meditations. Your talks with us in lonely places were heartwarming. Now we are all agreed to remember your behavior. Please save us. Dear Krishna, certainly you know how much we are saddened when you go out of Vrindavan village to tend to the cows in the forest. How we are afflicted simply to think that your lotus feet are being pricked by the dry grass and the tiny stones in the forest. We are so attached to you that we always think simply of your lotus feet. So the gopis are the highest benchmark of bhakti life. They are the pinnacle of bhakti. We can see their emotions are making them say so many things to Krishna. On one side, they're saying, Krishna, you're so cunning. And here you can see that Krishna is saying, you're so cunning. And you're given us such beautiful divine pastimes. You have spent time with us. You have spoken to us so wisely, so warmly, and everything, heart-touching conversations. And now suddenly you have left us, and you're so cunningly, you're enjoying that we have so much of distress. And by remembering, And we all know that, when we love somebody, we will always remember the beautiful things about that person, the beautiful times, whether we are some really close best friends or loved ones. They bring a smile on your face because you're always thinking about the beautiful times that you spent with them. So here you can find that the gopis are remembering the beautiful times that they had with Krishna. And they're saying, you're so cunning. You can imagine how much of distress we are finding even by remembering your cunning smile. So it's like a mixed emotions, they're on one side, they're feeling sad. On one side, they're feeling separation, the mood of separation. At the same time, they're remembering how beautiful the times were when Krishna was there. And also at the same time, they're so caring, just like when we love somebody, we are always thinking, are they safe? Are they okay? When the COVID was happening, we used to call up so many people, call across the world, trying to find out, are you okay? I heard that this COVID is very serious at this in your country. Like, how, are you doing okay? And things like that. So here you can find, like, even the gopis are not only just missing Krishna, but they're also being concerned, like, whether Krishna's feet is going to be pricked by the dry grass. And also when the Krishna used to go to the forest, actually, or to the Yamuna river, taking the cows out, they would miss them, and they would wait for Krishna when he's going to come back. So all these things, they're just running in the minds of the gopis, and you can find how much they are missing. Oh Krishna, when you return from the pasturing grounds with the animals, we see your face covered by your curly hair and dusted by the hoof dust of the cows. We see your mildly smiling face, and our desire to enjoy you increases. Oh dear Krishna, you're the supreme lover, and you always give shelter to the surrendered souls. You fulfill everyone's desire. Your lotus feet are worshipped even by Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe. On whoever worships your lotus feet, you without a doubt always bestow your benediction. So kindly be pleased with us and keep your lotus feet on our breasts, and thus relieve our present distress. Dear Krishna, we are seeking your kisses, which you offer even to your flute. The vibration of your flute enchants the whole world in our hearts. Kindly therefore return and kiss us with your mouth of nectar. So you can see this is how much of emotions are flowing from the gopis and how much they are kind of like missing Krishna. And you can see from these divine pastimes, you can bring it to your mind that Krishna's, even the appearance of Krishna, that is beautiful smile of Krishna, that eyes looking like lotus flower. And at the same time, the hair, which is curly hair, like when we try to, like somebody is painting and we want to give the description to that person. Okay, can you tell me, like, how does your friend look like? How does your parents look like? And you give a description saying that, oh, they have this hair, eyes are like this, hair is like that. Or somebody is asking a mother, can you describe about your son? How beautiful does he look like? And she starts bringing out the beautiful features of the son. So similarly here, from the gopis, we can try to understand like how beautiful Krishna must have been when he was there in Vrindavan. Curly hair, beautiful eyes, and smiling, and a pleasing smile, which you cannot forget in our hearts. And then here they're saying, like, he's a supreme lover, he's a supreme shelter. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nibashish Shirnam Suhridam Sarva Bhutana, where Krishna says he is the most intimate, dearest friend and our well-wisher. And that's the reason why when we pray to Krishna also, he fulfills our desire. But Krishna is more than what you would pray to the demigods. To the demigods, we pray for material things, but Krishna is not more than interested in giving material things. He wants us back to his Krishna Loka, just like a father who wants his children back home. Krishna is more than can give us anything. As we can see, he's given a palace to Sudama. He's given so many things for so many of his people who have prayed to him. Krishna has given the divine knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna when he prayed to him. But when it comes to us, because he is our loving father, he's saying, like, forget about all these material things. I want you to directly come back home. I want to give you the ultimate joy. Come back. That's all I want to you. Because ultimately, when the demigods, when you pray and they give you so many material things, and those material things again could land us into karmic reactions and so many problems and things like that. But Krishna is not more interested, loves us even more dear than what a demigod would love, because he's saying, Pitahamasya Jagato, Mata Data Pitamaha, I'm your father, I'm your mother, I'm your grandchild, and I love you so much. And that's the reason why he is saying, like, just come back to our Godhead. So here we can see from the gopis how much they're talking about Krishna, that he's supreme lover, and he fulfills everybody's desire, and how much he gives the benedictions, and we knows, and then they're so pleasingly, they're saying like how we can keep their feet on them as well. So, and we know earlier also how Krishna, when he was playing the flute, so he was saying like, when he was kissing the flute also, like, when he was playing that, and how enchanting the flute sound was, like all the cows and everybody would come running to them. So this is a beautiful chapter where we can see from the gopis, in their description itself, they have nicely, in their mood of separation, have described Krishna so beautifully, that he's so good looking, so they're missing him, and at the same time, how much they're caring about Krishna. And here we can see that this is like the ultimate bhakti yoga, where they're not expecting anything from Krishna. They just want Krishna to be with them. They're only caring about how pleasing they can be to Krishna. So this is the end of the 31st chapter, Songs by the Gopi. I just wanted to open if there's any reflections, realizations, and then I want to just go to the Kirtan. Anyone, Prabhuji, anyone wants to share anything? I'm happy to just listen. And Amoga Prabhu or Ramnath Prabhuji.
I mean, it's all very nice. I'm just reflecting on how the gopis are ultimately the topmost gurus. They're teaching us how to be attached to Krishna and detached from our material egoic identities that keep us in the material world. They're the gurus of the highest possible nature, the devotees of the highest possible nature, and that this is something that is so wonderful, so unique to Chaitanya Vaishnavism. Many times the followers of Vallabhacharya, the Pushti Marg, they don't like to talk about these things because they think, oh, Krishna has become contaminated when he gets involved with the gopis. And even hear some of the language, oh, the gopis had lusty desires. But it's not our material projection of what that means. They had desires to please Krishna, absolutely no desire to please themselves. And this is something so unique in the world of philosophy and theology. Who else has this?
Absolutely, Prabhuji. My realization is that when we see the gopis, they're ready to leave their, because we feel like we are so attached to our relationships, whether family or friends and things like that, that we are so caught up in these relationships that we don't have so much of time for bhakti life or for love, showing our love for Krishna. But from the gopi side, we can see that their love for Krishna was the ultimate, that they were not interested in their husband, they were not interested in their children and friends and things like that. They were very clear about that Krishna is the most important thing in their life, and all the other things, even though they were having their homely lives and things like that, but that was secondary. So I felt my biggest realization is that to learn from the gopis is that which one is what's your primary goal, or what is your main objective in your life? Is it like Krishna more important, or whether it's, because I think many times we have this catch-22 situation. All of us are trying to balance our lives, doing our work on one hand and trying to do bhakti on the other hand. But I think gopis they're set an example that these things are the most important. Attending to Krishna is more important than anything else.
Yeah, and in householder life, it doesn't mean we can't have love and affection for family members.
Yes.
That's natural, and that should be there. That would make a strong family. But you keep Krishna in the center, you keep the deity worship in the center, you keep preaching in the center, keep Krishna Katha in the center, you keep Kirtan in the center, Japa in the center, then the whole family dynamics are raised to this other level of attachment based on Krishna. So yes, the gopis were completely detached from their family existence, but it doesn't mean that as householders living in the material world, that we have to, be like a sannyasi or
Yes.
emotionally detached from family members. But we, our the perfection of our family environment is to keep it Krishna conscious always.
Yes.
Keep the Krishna Katha going. Keep the discussions of Krishna going. Centered everything on Krishna. And in today's world, that's not so easy.
Yes, Prabhuji.
There's so many distractions. There's so many other things that, to sort of more or less entertain our consciousness. But if we can really keep it Krishna conscious, then yeah, this is this is the example that the gopis are giving us.
Yes, Prabhuji, I think that's a very, very important point, because many times, it's not like we have to neglect our loved ones or things like that. It's just trying to put Krishna in the center and trying to see how we can make everything inclusive. But many times it may not happen that, both wife and husband also may not be on the same Krishna conscious. I did find some of the devotees having that bit of struggle where somebody comes and say, like, I wish my husband was devotional because he's not so much into Krishna and things like that. So we do have our challenges, but at the same time, we can do our best within our own this thing to keep Krishna in the center. As
we can do our best, and we try and find, hopefully we find good association so that our family members can become more inspired by the not only our own example, but the social situation, the family, the friendship that
Yes.
devotees have is inspiring. And
Yes.
certainly in a community like the Manor, there's so much variety of devotee friends to be made.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. I think the very, very important insights that Prabhuji, as you shared, that's so valuable for us, that, that we keep Krishna in everything that we do. It's not that we should neglect any of our dear ones, because even they are also depending on us, for affection and things like that, because we are also part of a family and things like that. But I think it's as much as we can, we should always try to see if we can keep Krishna in the center and just include in every activity that we do. Absolutely, Prabhuji. That's a very, very important part. Sanchit Machaji or anyone, even Nagaraj Prabhu, whoever, like if you want to share, you can always feel free to.
Yes.
I mean,
While you were telling about the mercy, right? Krishna is so merciful right now. He has come in personally, and he's sending gurus, and he's trying many ways for us to uplift us.
yes,
So he is so merciful.
yes, absolutely. And as Krishna is the Chaitya Guru inside, he's giving us this knowledge, and outside he's giving us the spiritual master. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Nagaraj Prabhu. He himself comes as a devotee, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then again he sends Prabhupada. Okay. So we can see from just like how we are trying our best, Krishna is also doing everything he can to get us back to Godhead and get us back to Krishna Loka, and trying to attract us, giving all the knowledge. But still it's up to us, because again, one thing that Krishna doesn't take away from us, he doesn't take away our free will. He always gives us the free will to do what we want to do. But if we take advantage of the free will to turn towards Krishna, then our lives will be successful. Absolutely.
Yes.
I just, with your permission, I just want to know if I can just go ahead and recite Gopi Geet. Yeah.
Yes, keep going.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do we have time?
Yes, Prabhuji, we do have time. It's just 9. So we will, it's just 9 and we will cover this, Prabhuji. So Gopi Geet, this is the gopis singing in a song of separation. And it is spoken by Satyavrata Muni in conversation with Narada Muni. This is beautiful. And it's from Bhagavad Purana. And it is from Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 31, verse 1 to 19. Gopya Ucha. Jayati Tedikam Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Shashwadatrahi Dayata Drisyetam Dikshutavaka Tvayadrita Sava Tvam Vichanvita Saradu Sadaya Sadhu Jatasa Sarasi Jodara Shri Mushadrisa Suratanate Sulkadashika Varadanignato Neha Kimbada Visajalapaya Vyala Rakshasa Varshamaruta Vaidyutanala Vrishamayatmaja Vishwatobaya Rishabhote Vayam Rakshiti Muhu Nakalu Gopika Nandano Bhava Akila Dehinam Antaratmadre Vikana Shartito Vishwaguptaye Sakadiudiyavan Satvatam Kule Virachite Bayam Rishni Duryate Charana Vayusham Samsmrite Baya Karasharoruham Kantakamadam Shirashadehina Shrikaragraham Brajajanartihan Virayoshita Nijajanasmaya Dvamshanasmita Bhajasake Bhava Kinkarismano Jalaruhananam Charudarshaya Pranata Dehinam Papakarshanam Trenacharanurngam Sriniketanam Panipanarpitam Te Padambujam Krunukuche Suna Krindihrichayam Madhuraya Gira Valguvakyaya Bodhamanoshaya Pushkarekshana Vidikaririma Viramuhyati Hadarashidunopya Yayaswanana Tava Katamrutam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvigranantiye Burida Jana Prahashitam Priya Prema Vikshanam Virahanam Chate Dhyana Mangalam Rahasi Samvido Yahridi Spriha Kuhakana Mana Shobhayantihi Chalasiyad Braja Charayan Pashun Nalina Sundaram Natate Padam Shilatrinakurai Siddhatinana Kaliladatamana Kantagachati Dina Parikshaya Neelakuntalai Vanaruhananam Bibradavritam Ganarajaswalam Darshayam Muhu Manashina Smaram Viroyachasi Pranata Kamadam Padmararjitam Dharana Mandanam Jayamapadi Charana Pankajam Shantamam Chate Ramananaptane Arpayadihan Suratavardanam Shokanashanam Swaritavenuna Shushtushumbitam Itara Ragasvi Smarana Nirnanam Vitara Virana Tedaramrutam Atitiyad Bhavan Ahnikananam Trutiyugayati Twamupashatam Kutilakuntalam Srimukam Chate Yadudiksatam Pakshmakridrisham Pati Sutanvaya Bhratrubandhava Ativilangyate Nitya Churgata Gati Vidastavo Gita Mohita Kitavayoshita Kasya Jenishi Rahasi Samvidam Richayodayam Prahasitananam Premavekshanam Brihadurashriyo Vikshayadamate Muhu ati spruha Mohyate mana Vrajavano Vanaukasham Vyakti Angate Vrijanahantriyalam Vishwamangalam Chajamanakhyata Nastvapadam Swajana Hridrujam Yannishodanam Yate Sujata Charana Bruham Stanishu Vita Sanai Priya Dadamahi Karishu Tenata Vimatashi Tadvyate Nakim Swe Kurpadit Barbris Brahmati Dirbhava Dayushamna Jayate te digam janmana vraja Shrayata indira shashwadatrahi Dayat drishyata dikshutavaka Twayedrita shava Tvam vinichichinvate Hare Krishna. So that's a beautiful song
Very
of
much a song.
Prabhuji.
Very much a song. Very nice.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Prabhu, Hari Bol. Such beautiful singing on the Gopi Git. Very beautiful. Prabhu. Really so blessed, like your Kirtans and of course, like after a long time, got to hear your Gopi Git. It was like few years back, I think we had. Hari Bol.
And so nicely, it's a perfect time. The chapter is of gopis missing Krishna in separation. So I thought it's a nice thing that we can sing this. It will be like very apt for today's session. So that's why I thought I should sing this. Can I request we can all participate and just recite this? Sanchit Machi, would you want to just do one of maybe 3 of the verses, and then someone can also read? It will be nice to just read the translation.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. First 3, did you say?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're fine with that.
Yes. Just let me turn around my screen because it's very small. I'm just logged in from my phone.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. I'll just So first, translation 1. The gopis said, "O beloved, your birth in the land of Braja has made it exceedingly glorious, and thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here. It is only for your sake that we, your devoted servants, maintain our lives. We have been searching everywhere for you, so please show yourself to us." 2. O Lord of love, in beauty your glance excels the whole of the finest, most perfectly formed lotus within the autumn pond. O bestower of benedictions, you are killing the maidservants who have given themselves to you freely, without any price. Isn't this murder? O greatest of personalities, you have repeatedly saved us from all kinds of danger, from poisoned water, from the terrible man-eater Agha, from the great rains, from the wind demon, from the fiery thunderbolt of Indra, from the bull demon, and from the son of Mayadanav. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Ramanath Prabhuji, would you want to just recite? Or?
It's too small for me to read, Prabhu.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji. Okay,
I-
then,
someone else can read. I can't read it.
okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, someone else.
I can do it.
Okay,
You're
Prabhuji.
not actually the son of Gopi Yashoda, O friend, but rather the indwelling witness in the hearts of all embodied souls, because Lord Brahma prayed for you. You too come and protect the universe. You have now appeared in the Satvata dynasty. O best of the Vrishins, your lotus-like hand, which holds the hand of the goddess of fortune, grants fearfulness to those who approach your feet out of fear of material existence. O lover, please place that wish-fulfilling lotus hand in our hands. O you who destroy the suffering of Raja's people, O hero of all women, your smile shatters the false pride of your devotees. Please, dear friend, accept us as your maidservants and show us your beautiful lotus face.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I will
Krishna.
go.
Nagaraj Prabhu? Yeah, please.
Yes. Your lotus feet destroy the past sins of all the embodied souls who surrendered to them. Those feet follow after the cows in the pastures and are the external abode of the goddesses of fortune. Since you once put those feet on the hoods of the great serpent Kaliya, please place them upon our breast and tear away the lust in your hearts. O lotus-eyed one, your sweet voice and charming words, which attract the minds of the intelligent, are bewildering us more and more. Our dear hero, please revive your maidservants with the nectar of your lips. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reaction and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are more beneficent.
Hare Krishna. Anil
Right.
Prabhu, would you want to just? Anil Prabhu? You may be on, he's on mute. Amoga Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I shall do it.
yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Your smiles, your sweet loving glances, the intimate pastimes and confidential talks we enjoyed with you, all these are auspicious to meditate upon, and they touch your hearts. But at the same time, O deceiver, they very much agitate our minds. Dear master, dear lover, when you leave the cowherd village to herd the cows, our minds are disturbed with the thought that your feet, more beautiful than a lotus, will be pricked by the spiked husks of grain and the rough grass and plants. At the end of the day, you repeatedly show us your lotus face covered with dark blue locks of hair and thickly covered with dust. Thus, O hero, you arouse lusty desires in our minds. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, would you want to cover this two more, Prabhuji?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji. Your lotus feet, which are worshipped by Lord Brahma, fulfill the desires of all who bow down to them. They are ornament of earth. They give the highest satisfaction, and in times of danger, they are the appropriate object of meditation. O lover, O destroyer of anxiety, please put those lotus feet upon our breasts. O hero, kindly distribute to us the nectar of your lips, which enhances conjugal pleasure and vanquishes grief. That nectar is thoroughly relished by your vibrating flute and makes people forget any other attachment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'll read the next one. When you go off to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of a second becomes like a millennium for us because we cannot see you. And even when we can eagerly look up on your beautiful face, so lovingly with its adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which are fashioned by the foolish creator. Dear Achyuta, You know very well why we have come here. Who but a cheater like you would abandon young women who come to see him in the middle of the night, enchanted by the lovely, loud song of his flute? Just to see you, we have completely rejected our husbands, children, ancestors, brother, and other relatives. Our minds are repeatedly bewildered as we think of the intimate conversations we had with you in secret. Feel the rise of lust in our hearts and remember your smiling face, your loving glances, and of your broad chest, the resting place of the goddess of fortune. Thus we experience the most severe hankering for you. O beloved, your all auspicious appearance vanquishes the distress of those living in Braja forest. Our minds long for your association. Please give to us just a bit of that medicine which counteracts the disease in your devotees' hearts. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. I think that comes to the end of the Gopi Geet, and I think it's a beautiful expression of what we covered in this chapter in the form of a song, where the gopis are exactly like the way we read in this chapter. It's just a translation in the form of a song. How beautiful it is, we mentioned. And we are so fortunate that we have been, this is directly from, this song is from Bhagavatam itself, Canto 10. So amazingly, it's just wonderful. I feel so grateful that we could sing for us in the Association of Devotees. It's absolutely humbling. I was just thinking, because it's 9:17, we actually, this in the next chapter we can cover next week, if that's okay with everyone, because that's going to be a chapter on how Krishna is returns to the gopis. That's the chapter that we're going to cover. I just want to get everybody's take. Would that be okay, or how you want to drive this?
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
Okay, Prabhuji. So we can just end for today, and then next Thursday we'll see like how Krishna is returning to the gopis, and we'll take it from there. That's another beautiful chapter. We covered the last two chapters. We've been seeing like how much gopis have been missing and how have been lamenting. Next one we will cover on the response from Krishna. So I want to just thank everyone for your association. I feel so blessed that having your association, and thank you for participating and reading the Gopi Gate together. And also, I just want to take this opportunity to thank devotees who are like contributing for Shyam Sundar Prabhu's books. Hemal Prabhu has bought one. I had to give him the set. Thanks so much, Hemal Prabhu, and Shanti Mataji was so kind and generous, buying one set and some donation, and then even Nagarat Prabhu. So I just want to thank everyone, because this is a small service that we can go do to our someone who's so dear to Prabhupada. This is how the link is. And I did try my best during Janmashtami to sell the books, but like we are a devotee community, and only we can sell among our devotees. So by all means, if any of our friends are interested, please do let me know. And I just want to put a word with other sanghas as well. So in that way, we can just kind of like contribute in our own way, show our reciprocation to Shyam Sundar Prabhu, such a divine soul, someone who's so close to Prabhupada. And we can just do our bit as well as devotees. So I just wanted to thank for helping me in doing this service, and I will be just.
How is he doing? I mean, you're in touch with him?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm in touch with him. In fact, he has asked me to put up the banner and try to sell in the Janmashtami. I try to do my best, because
You
what
try to
happens
do your best. Yeah. I mean, basically, though, as I see it, it's a hard sell unless he's there.
Yes, it's quite difficult unless we say. And also, like, everything got lost in the Janmashtami, because there's so much of going around and people are just in a different mode of enjoying the spirit of this thing. And many visitors wouldn't understand. It's only the devotees who know about Prabhupada and know about the Hare Krishna movement. They would understand more into what this book is about. And so we can only sell to our devotees, actually, they would understand. So even though Janmashtami, I couldn't do much, but I think the realization for me came from Janmashtami is like, it's only the devotees who can actually really contribute to this. So I have to try my best, Prabhuji, with our sanghas, and just to reach out to our devotees to see if they can support him.
Yeah, maybe the different Bhakti Vriksha and different sanghas that are together. If you could arrange where you can speak for 5 minutes and try and sell them
Yes, Prabhu.
something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try
Prabhu.
your best, but you can only do so much too.
Yes, Prabhuji. I did my bit of service before Prabhuji left. I bought 6 sets of books from him, just as a token of my respect for him, my gratitude towards him, and which is
Oh,
what
wow.
I'm just trying
Hare
to.
Krishna.
Yeah, and Prabhuji was. I was personally with him trying to sell in Coventry and Birmingham and all that, and at the end, I said, "This is what I can do from my end." And I'm just trying my best. And I got some books actually from the temple as well. And they said like, okay, you try to sell them in your friend circle or satsangs. So which is what I'm trying to do, Prabhuji, a small endeavor to help Prabhupada's disciple. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Like, Shyam Prabhu, you have done amazing service, like especially getting that opportunity to serve, being a servant of a Prabhupada disciple is like amazing. Like for Ramnath Prabhu, we just get his association, of course, only online, but you have been able to serve Malati Mataji, Guru Das Prabhu, and then Yamuna Mataji, Sham Sundar Prabhu. So this is amazing. And we'll try to do a write-up maybe and then circulate, during this book marathon and all. We'll try to circulate within because I do understand where you're coming from, because Janmashtami, we have visitors, more than devotees, more visitors. And unless people understand the mood in which he has written these books, it's very difficult to, and when they see these hard, big books, like, 3 set, it's hard to convince people to buy them. So it has to be within the devotees and proper, write up saying in what condition Prabhu is now, and then try to do as much as we can do. And I can understand, as you were mentioning, that who was asking how to sell in Janmashtami. For you now, it will be difficult to make him understand that it is not easy to sell in Janmashtami, like especially they try to, I was in a bookstall, we were in the Krishna Land bookstall. Books were selling like hotcakes because everybody wants Krishna books, Krishna drawing books, Krishna this, Krishna that. So we were running out of books. So can you imagine, like it was that busy. Like we hardly had much breaks, and very less devotees were there for serving. So, but that was good in a way. But we had like 90 collection of books of Mahaprabhu books, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Vinda Devi, Tulsi Devi, and so many other collections. There were 5 of each, 5 copies of each, but they hardly anything sold. So everybody's after like Krishna books, Hanuman books, and Ramayan. Those were the 3 favorites. But other than that, other things like did not sell a lot. So there's particular liking amongst us. So we were thinking like next year, like we have to arrange our books that way, but that is a different story. But for Shyam Sundar Prabhu's books, it has to be different strategy altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could understand from that. In fact, I was like so much keen that we had to sell the book, and I was told that if I keep the books in the general bookstores, whatever they sell, it just goes to them. And I said, like, I can't. That wouldn't be nice because I need to send the Lakshmi to Prabhuji, so I can't keep in the general section. So I literally convinced the Goshala, and I just tried to keep it on the cart. And they were not happy because they said like this is a Goshala thing, you can't keep her here and all that. I could understand, like, everybody's trying to focus on selling their stuff. So I said, like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get into I did my best, whatever I can. And then when I spoke to George Harrison, the tent out there, they said, like, first they said you had to get permission. And suddenly that person changed his mind. He said, like, you know what? It would be aparadha if you don't put Shyam Sundar Prabhu books. And I don't know, suddenly they changed their mind in 5 minutes. And they said, like, okay, Prabhu, you can come and keep your books out here. Don't worry. We will try to sell and all that. Even though they managed to sell just one book, volume 3. But it was just Krishna's mercy that they allowed me to just keep it out there. But otherwise, the other people are not happy when I just wanted to keep the book. But then again, my intention was genuine to just truly help Prabhupada disciple. But the thing is, Prabhupada has spoken, given us Bhagavad Gita, given Bhagavatam, given so many beautiful books, Chaitanya Charitamrita and all that. But who's going to glorify Prabhupada? Who's going to give those beautiful divine pastimes with Prabhupada? Who other than Shyam Sundar Prabhu, who was so close, he was a personal secretary, and who would be the right person actually to can give an account of what they done for Prabhupada, and who's going to glorify the Prabhupada, the spiritual master. So that should come from the closest of his disciples. So this book is so important actually to understand the devotees' mood, or how they have all worked together to serve Prabhupada. And that can also be a sense of inspiration for all of us, like, how they have, like for example, Shyam Sundar Prabhu arranged the helicopter for Prabhupada to come from Heathrow Airport to Manor. And so Shyam Sundar Prabhu would tell about all these beautiful pastimes when he came here, and all of them are there in the book. So those kind of
It actually, I mean, it needs a lot of publicity. Other than that, like, it's very difficult to spread this message. Yeah, unless this message spreads, it's difficult to get hold of people. I mean, devotees who would be interested in books. Yeah.
Sure. Definitely, we try our best, and against Krishna's mercy, and we do whatever we can.
Every year there's Janmashtami, tens of thousands of people come, and it's a big festival. Next day is Prabhupada's Vyas Puj, and not that many people. To actually be devoted to Prabhupada, it's actually kind of rare. Yes, devotees people want to think that I'm devotee of Krishna, but they don't understand Prabhupada. They don't appreciate Prabhupada. And on some level they do, but Shyam Sundar's books are really for those devotees that appreciate Prabhupada. And unfortunately, I have to say, there's not that many.
Absolutely, Prabhu, you are just spot on.
We like to think that there are, but there's actually not that many.
Absolutely, Prabhu. You have hit the nail absolutely spot on. That's true, because this year also, the 3 days were ticketed, like Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. But on Friday, on Nandotsav, there were hardly, only the devotees came, like special morning program.
No, but Friday, we didn't, I don't think the manor expected many people on Friday, but my point is, who even shows up on Friday to hear the offerings of the Prabhupada disciples? Just a spattering of devotees. And then about 10 times as many devotees are there for the feast. But I mean, I don't want to be overly critical, but my point is, actually, to hear the nectar that Shyamsundar has in his books, it takes a special kind of devotee. And I so much admire Shyamsundar, but it's a hard sell to sell his books unless he's giving a class and he's inspiring people to do it himself.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've not been so much active like some other. Sure, Prabhuji. Whatever Krishna's mercy, I'll try my best.
You try your best, and obviously you're getting a lot of mercy, but I mean, I mean, these books will be there for a long time, for many generations to come. Maybe they'll be better appreciated in the future. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's even getting devotees to read the official biography, the Lilamrita. That's also not easy, and it's such Satsvarup Maharaj, what he did is so amazing. The Lilamrita. And then you have these individual memoirs. You got Jamuna, you've got Guru Das, you've got Ranchor Prime, you've got Mukunda, Shyamasundar. Shyamasundar by far is the best, but there's competition out there. And devotees, even though it's easy, reading like Lilamrita or even Shamasundar's book, it's more like reading a novel rather than a heavy book of philosophy, which all these other books are mostly like. And it's entertaining. It's amazing. I like to give the analogy: becoming Prabhupada conscious is the next best thing to Krishna consciousness. But you really have to have that love for Prabhupada to hear about Prabhupada in these deep, detailed ways.
Yes, Prabhuji. Absolutely.
Yes, Prabhu, so true. Yeah, Prabhupada conscious. That's a right
Yeah.
way to put it. Maybe, yeah. Unless we have the love for Prabhupada, like all his divine, it's everything we are here, everything we are doing is because of his divine grace. I mean, without it, it's not at all possible. But to have that humility to understand Prabhupada, like, of course, people read his books, and then we are Krishna conscious, but to be Prabhupada conscious, like, is a big thing. Yeah.
It's a good one.
This stall, I mean, about Janmashtami, this stall about George Harrison, this was beautiful, right? The way it was done, about some
That
information
was
about
the BTG stall. Basically,
the
the
back.
whole thing
Yeah, yeah.
was, yeah.
Were you there, Prabhu? Ramnath Prabhu, were you?
Well, I try to be there most of the time. Maybe I didn't see you, but yeah.
Because I was there in the Krishna Land stall, and we didn't have much helpers there, so we didn't get much break. But we went there on Sunday evening, like after 6, I think.
No,
I think
I had
after
left by that time. I had to get home.
after 6, 7, yeah, because we wanted the children to have a look, and it was amazing. I think that was the best stall with so much of information. And my daughter Purbasha, she was saying, if this could have been like, left like the Goshala or some other corner like that, in a corner with all the information and not ripped off, like in meaning taken off, it would have been so much helpful for the visitors to know about Prabhupada, George Harrison, the contribution in Krishna. So it was so beautifully made. When we went, they're saying in 1 hour time we are taking it all off. I was feeling so sad, like this should not go
Well,
up.
I was personally encouraging the devotees, save everything somehow or other, find some place to store this stuff and do a new and improved version next year. It's not just the 50th anniversary. You can do this. And personally, if I had any influence at all in the manor management, which I do not, but I personally think above and beyond the George Harrison garden, there has to be something within the temple itself glorifying George Harrison, in his service to Prabhupada and what he did, bringing Krishna consciousness to London, the UK, donating the manor, some corner, some place where the many Indians and Hindus that come, but they have to understand this is such an important history, and that George Harrison of the Beatles was also a devotee of Krishna. They have to appreciate that. If they can't appreciate that, how can they understand Prabhupada? How can they understand Lord Chaitanya's movement to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world? And how can they understand the important history of how George Harrison was intimately connected to not just Prabhupada, but Lord Chaitanya. It's almost like Lord Chaitanya sent George Harrison become a famous Beatle, and then to come in contact with Krishna consciousness, and then to help establish Krishna consciousness. Not, like I said, not just London, all over the world. Personally, I owe a lot to George Harrison myself. I know, when I was in my teenage years, how the Beatles affected me. And then when George Harrison started, producing his own music, and it was Krishna conscious music, it really helped me to accept Prabhupada, his teachings, much more seriously. I sometimes question, would I have actually become a devotee if it were not for George Harrison as my Vartma Pratakshika Guru? I can't answer that question, but I'm not the only one. There's many Prabhupada disciples who owe their life in Krishna consciousness to George Harrison. And you could say, well, that's ancient history, but it's history. And this is Lord Chaitanya's movement. This is how Krishna sent his empowered ambassador, Srila Prabhupada, to the West, not knowing what would happen, but he comes in contact with one of the most famous people in the world, of course, through Shama Sundar and all the work of the devotees. And George Harrison loved Prabhupada. Prabhupada loved George Harrison. And because of that, the movement really exploded. And Prabhupada needed that kind of push and explosion to, in a very short time, make the ISKCON society grow. Otherwise, who knows? If devotees like George Harrison had not come along, who knows what the history would look like here in London in terms of the spreading of Krishna consciousness? Who knows what how many fewer devotees would have come? Anyway, my point is, at the manor, there is no specific place to properly honor George Harrison, not as a guru, not like he's our guru, but he has, some kind of a little plaque with a condensed history or synopsis of George Harrison should be there.
Yes, I agree, Prabhuji.
What do you think?
Yes.
Absolutely agree, Prabhuji.
Yeah, these are very valuable thoughts, Prabhu. I think the manner like we can pass on these informations, maybe you can do, of course.
Well,
And
I've let devotees know, but like I said, I have no influence.
because all the information that was there
In
the
general, the Indians that come, they don't care about George Harrison. You understand? The Indians come, they're pious Hindus. What do they care about George Harrison? They don't care about George Harrison, the Beatles. It doesn't mean much in their life. But they should understand this is important history. And I think the more you understand the history of ISKCON, the more you can love Prabhupada and ISKCON. Just in a similar way, when you go to Vrindavan, when you understand the history of Vrindavan, then you can really appreciate Vrindavan. So when people come to the manor, some of the history should be there, and they can appreciate. But it's a matter of properly considering how to present it, where some kind of a picture of George Harrison and a picture of Prabhupada together or something, and some kind of appropriate plaque. Where would it be? Where could that be? In the hallways or somewhere in the temple itself where people would see? I don't know.
Yeah.
But basically all these years, and there's nothing there other than the George Harrison Garden.
Absolutely. I think that's a very good idea that Sanchit Machid, like I think Purvash is given. I think that's a beautiful idea. Even I didn't think about it actually. But yeah, it would have been a wonderful thing because we have so many visitors coming just out of curiosity, and including the English people as well. They just come, many people, they come and visit the thing. And so having something
the English people, of course.
So even just having something like this, Prabhuji, just when they just walk around, those pictures say a lot about the journey, and that would be really something which could rather than be explaining so much, but those pictures are so beautiful actually, where people can understand actually, oh, this is the journey. It was so nicely. I taken a video, Prabhuji, like the whole thing. I tried to post it, Sanchit, on the channel. I don't know, maybe on the group for this.
I haven't seen it, Prabhu. Is it recently or?
No, just now I sent it again.
Okay. I'll just have a look. Yeah. Even as Ramnath Prabhu, you're mentioning, even the one which they had done, if even that was there, put in some corner, like even like we have a Prabhupada room upstairs, if one of the rooms could be used, or the Bhakti lounge could be used, like having all the posters around, that would be so helpful for. Because we see many visitors
like
who don't know that
this is. But something somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Many visitors don't know that this was George Harrison's manor, like he donated. Many of them, like sometimes we meet parents in the playground and they say, is it? When I say like, this is George Harrison's mansion, he donated, they said, is it? I mean, they don't know. So young parents, so of course, like if the information was there around, like put somewhere, like this is a very important thought. We have to get it there, like for people to hear and act upon it. Right. Yeah. And Prabhu, we liked your contribution for Gopeshwar Mahadev. It made Vrindavan experience so beautiful. Like the entrance of the walk, it was so beautiful.